Hey, I am Lindsey Koetje, and I am with Young Living. And I'm so excited that you are wanting to learn about some essential oils and how to get started on this health journey. So first, let me just introduce myself. I have been using essential oils for about 5.5 years. I started using them and I started researching them when my first son was probably about 5 or 6 months old. He had some terrible skin issues that came up. And it just sent me into digging because I was given the answer that I had no hope. I was given the answer of it just happens sometimes. And well, just slap some of this on there and it'll calm it down. And I didn't have an end date. I didn't have when do I get to stop using this. I didn't have a reason on why it started. I was just told it happens sometimes and I was given no hope. And that wasn't okay with me. And so I started digging and I dug and dug and dug because, y'all, I felt like a terrible mother. I remember the moment that my son was born and I looked down at him and I thought, you are perfect. And it's simply my job not to screw it up. And at 5 months old, I felt like I had totally screwed it up. I was in tears thinking, what have I done? I don't understand. What changed? What happened? What can I do? What is causing this? And after a lot of digging, a lot of research, we found that there were a lot of food allergies that was causing some issues. We also found some environmental things that were causing some issues. We found just a lot of different changes that we needed to make in our home for him. And it got so much better, but there still was just something missing. There was a piece that was missing because there was just something not right and I couldn't put my finger on it. But all I knew was that I did not want to sit in any more waiting rooms because I was just given no hope. And that there was just nothing there that was answering any questions of mine. And so through my research, I stumbled across essential oils. And so I went to the store and I bought some. And I used them and we got terrible headaches. And I thought, oh my goodness, what is this stuff? No, this is not what I thought it was. This is not what I read about. What is going on right now? And so I started talking to a friend about it and she was like, oh honey, let me help you. And I was like, okay, please. And it was the first time I had hope. It was the first time I felt like I had any hope because I was given answers of, let me help you figure this out. And so I started digging into it. And I can tell you right now, it was one of the biggest decisions we made. And it is also the decision that has made a 180 in our life. Our home, our life, our health, our bodies look nothing like it did before I started with Young Living. And I will never go back. I am super passionate about this and I want to teach you. I want to help you. I want to go alongside you because I never want anyone to feel hopeless like I did. It was not a pleasant experience. It is not something I wish on anyone. And I want to help you learn and I want to empower you because you are the gatekeeper of your home. You are the one that gets to say what comes in, what gets used on yourself and on your family. And so you have that power. No one else is given that power. No one else is standing at your door deciding what you are supporting with your money. No one else is telling you what you should put on your body or in your body, but you. You're the one going to the store. You're the one voting with your dollars. You're the one that's putting it on your skin and in your body, and you're the one bringing it in your home, and you have the power to read. You do not need letters behind your name to read anything, to learn anything. And you have the power and you have the hope that is available for you to change things in your life. And if that is with baby steps or if that is with massive change, either one, that's okay. But that's my story. That is something that I just never want to go back to that hopeless feeling again, and I never want anyone else to feel like that either. So we are going to first start off with the fact that I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I am not pretending to be one or play one on TV. I cannot treat, cure, diagnose, or prevent any diseases. And so please see your doctor if you feel the need to. I can certainly help you with any questions that you have, but I will say please see your seek professional help when you feel that you need to. All right, so let's start off with something very basic. What is an essential oil? So essential oils are a volatile liquid that come out of flowers, trees, plants, seeds, shrubs, all those type things. Pretty much any plant found in nature has an essential oil in it. So when I say volatile liquid, that simply means that it evaporates very quickly. So the molecules are very, very tiny, and they just evaporate out of the bottle extremely quickly. And so that is what makes them volatile, okay? It is kind of like when I open up a bottle of essential oil, I can immediately smell it. Depending on the oil, there are people around me that can immediately start smelling it. However, if I open up a bottle of, let's say, olive oil, I'm not going to immediately smell olives, okay? So that's kind of the difference in an essential oil and in a regular oil. Some other key differences or key aspects of an essential oil would be that it plays a very important role in helping protect the plant that it comes from insects, diseases, harsh environments, conditions, things like that. So it is one of those things that whenever a plant is harmed, an essential oil is kind of what comes to the surface to help to like heal that plant, or for that plant to do what it needs to do to continue to survive. And that essential oil is what kind of comes out and does that for the plant. So a common thing that I have learned that I thought was really interesting is when you cut grass, and we all love that smell of fresh cut grass. That's actually the essential oil releasing because the grass was just harmed from being cut. That's why it doesn't stay around for long, because after about an hour or so, it's pretty much gone, and that is because the grass has healed that cut. And so a lot of times when you see grass, it'll sometimes have like that dead looking end on the top of it, and that's kind of where it has healed itself, and the oils have come out and done that. So there are different compounds that are found in these oils that have been studied for the positive effect on our bodies. And so that's why these essential oils actually work, and there are different uses that we have for them, and we will go over those. But essential oils are also super powerful. So they are 50 to 70 times more powerful than herbs. And that's simply because it takes a whole lot of plant material to make a little bit of essential oil. Whereas an herb is just plant material that has been dried. And so there's such a difference in the power and the how strong they are because of that. So essential oils also do not expire as long as they are not stored properly. They have an indefinite shelf life. So that means as long as they are not stored in heat, in sunlight, they're in dark bottles. So most of the time you will see essential oils in like brown glass bottles. And that is just to keep the light out. And then also they like cool, things like that. There are actually oils that were found in King Tut's tomb that were just as good when they found them as when they were being put in, because they were stored properly. Now, some ways that they would expire would be if you did keep them, like let's say in your car, things like that. They don't really like that, especially where we are in Georgia. But some other things would be if you mix it with a carrier oil, and we will talk about carrier oils a little bit later, but a carrier oil is basically a fatty oil. And so when a fatty oil goes rancid, you can't take the essential oil back out of it, and so therefore the whole batch is then gone because the fatty oil expired, not the essential oil. So we talked about how strong they are. So it takes 75 lemons to make a 15 milliliter bottle. So this is a 15 milliliter bottle of essential oil. And so it would take 75 lemons to make this. So an lemon essential oil, it comes from like the rind of the plant. And so that's a lot of lemons. 27 square feet of lavender. That's a lot of plant material. And each essential oil, it is different amount of plant material. It is different amounts of raw material, simply because different plants and flowers give off different amounts of oils, and so it varies with that, and cost varies with that as well. With peppermint, 1 pound of peppermint material, that's a lot of peppermint to get a pound of it. I mean, an herb doesn't weigh that much, so that is definitely a lot. So some different things that they can do. They help with our body's natural defenses. They help with normal cellular regeneration. They help with toxic cleaning. And that includes cleaning the toxins out of your body. They're very detoxifying. They help with your mood. Let me pause right here and tell you guys, when I first heard of essential oils. I was talking to him about some physical aspects that I was hoping that they would address, and some cleaning stuff, and all of that. And then somebody started talking to me about my mood and about emotions and oils, and I thought, hold it right there. We're getting a little hippie, and I just, no, we're not going to do that. And so they just kind of was like, okay, I can tell you right now that I am 5.5 years into using essential oils, and mood and emotion is probably the most common way I use them. Incredibly useful for that, and we will get into a little bit more of why later. So it can also help with our weight, our brain health, relaxing, stamina and energy, stress, mental clarity, overall health. It really is amazing what all the different essential oils can do. And different oils, like I said, have the different compounds, and so there is a different oil that can address different things. But I will say most oils are very, they have a lot of different uses. They are very versatile. So some people ask me if essential oils are new age, or if they are just a trend, if it's gonna, they're around right now, but they're about to go away, kind of what it is about that. My true belief is that essential oils were spoken into creation when God spoke the world into creation, because they are found within the plant, and they are there for different reasons for that plant. And so I truly believe that they were spoken into existence, and that they were put on this earth with provision for us, because the world and me and you were created by a God that loves us so much. And I do not believe that he would put us on this earth and say, good luck, figure it out. I believe that these oils are a provision for us, and it mentions oils so many times in the Bible. I have studied a lot about essential oils and the Bible, and the different oils that are found in the Bible, and that would have been used through biblical times and things like that, and it truly is amazing. It's like whole new characters in the Bible for me now, and it's really amazing. But this is one of my favorite scriptures, and it's in John 12:3, and it says, "Then Mary took a pound of very costly oil of spikenard," some translations say nard, but we know it was spikenard, "anointed the feet of Jesus and wiped his feet with her hair, and the house was filled with the fragrance of the oil." So this was done about a week or so, maybe a week or two before Jesus would be sent for crucifixion. And while he was fully God, knowing exactly what was about to happen, he was also fully man. And we know that he was not, I would say, gung-ho about it. He was not thrilled and excited about what was about to happen. We know that he was praying in the garden for God to pass this cup from him. He did not want to do this, but he did know it was coming. And when we look at this, I just find it really amazing, because spikenard historically has been studied and has been used for anxiety, for calming, for grounding, all of those type things. It is also an oil I have smelled before, and it is very much a poignant smell. Like, it's very, very strong, and a little bit goes a long way. So I can only imagine what an entire bottle of that would have smelled like. When it says it filled the fragrance, filled the house, I can guarantee it did. But I also know that it would have stuck around. It was one of those scents that, man, it was going to stick around. And, it's not like they took showers every day. More than likely, Jesus did not take a shower between when this happened and when he was crucified. And I truly believe he would have still at least smelled whiffs of it here and there. We also know that we know now that the feet is a very good place to place oils. If you know anything about reflexology, that is not an essential oil thing. That is just a general thing. But reflexology is basically where all of your systems and your organs and all of that can be found on your feet. And so for her to have poured that on Jesus's feet, and for us to know the historical uses of that oil and know when this happened, I just truly believe that it was a provision there for Jesus. And I believe that these oils are a provision from our God to us because he loves us so much. So I love this verse because I feel like it speaks truly into what I believe these oils are for us. And it's a picture right here of a provision for Jesus. So I really do love that. So let's talk about different types of oils. Some people ask me, well, does it really matter what oil I get? I mean, can I just get it from the store, or do I have to get it from you, or can I just get it on Amazon? You know, what does it even matter? Let me start out by saying the FDA does not regulate essential oils. So there is no regulations, there's no rules on essential oils. So they are, the FDA has kind of stuck us in categories that they already had, and they regulate what gets put on the label, but beyond that, there's really not much. And there are 4 different grades of essential oil that I want to talk to you guys about. The first one, level 1, would be a completely synthetic lab-created oil. So that is going to be an oil that will probably be found in cleaning chemicals or cleaning supplies. It will be found in perfumes. It could be found in all kinds of different things, okay? Completely synthetic fragrance. Air fresheners, candles, cleaners, y'all, it's everywhere. And that is extremely dangerous for us and for our health. So then we've got level 2 essential oil. Level 2 is what I would say is a natural oil. It means that there is actually essential oil in it. It is not completely lab created. They did get some essential oil from a plant. However, it is either mixed with a chemical or a chemical was used in getting that oil out of the plant. And so sometimes this will happen because they want the scent to last longer, because it makes the scent stronger. It gets the oil out of the plant faster, therefore it's more cost effective, or it gets the oil, it gets more oil out of the plant than the plant would naturally release. And so all of those different things are reasons that they would mix a chemical with an essential oil, and so that's what I would say is a natural one. The third grade would be what I say is a pure oil. Now, there are a lot of companies that will say that they are pure oil, and I am not saying that they are not, because I don't know that company. I'm not with them, and I cannot speak to that. They might be a pure oil, but that does not mean that they are going to be effective. So if essential oils are they are, I would say, a little finicky when it comes to how to, like, when they are being distilled or coming out of the plant. They are very picky, and if you heat them up too much or anything like that, so when an essential oil is coming out of a plant, it's basically done in a really big pressure cooker. So if the pressure is too high, if it's under too much heat, anything like that, it will kill off any of those compounds that we were talking about that is actually effective for your body, okay? So any of those constituents would be completely null and void. Now, if it is still a pure oil and it still smells really good, that does not mean it's going to be a very effective, okay? So I've had many people tell me, well, I tried that oil and it didn't do anything for me. And typically it came from a store. So I will say, and they were like, well, it said it was pure. And I'm saying, you know what? It might be pure, but that doesn't mean it's actually therapeutic or that it actually has benefits for your body, okay? The top level 4, would be the therapeutic grade essential oils. These are pure oils that have been distilled properly to still contain all of those constituents that are helpful for our bodies and that have those constituents for our bodies to use. So there are starting to be some other companies also that are saying therapeutic grade. And I will say Young Living is the company I am with, and that is the company that started that saying, or started that phrase, therapeutic grade, because we are the oldest essential oil company around. We have done it the longest, we have done it the most, and we have the largest library of the constituents that we are looking for in those plants to make sure they are at certain levels to be the most effective for you. Now, the other thing that I will get asked sometimes is, well, does it matter? So, okay, I know now that I need a therapeutic grade essential oil, but, does it matter then from there? Well, for me, it does. And so for me, I want the best. I want the ones that are the most effective, and I want the ones that are going to work the best for me and my family. And so for me, that still means Young Living, and that is because of our seed to seal guarantee. So this is something that Young Living has, that it has 3 different pillars that it has to meet for it to be considered seed to seal, and that is sourcing, science, and sustainability. And so with our with the way that we farm, we are very sustainable. We are striving right now to be a no waste. So there is at least one of our farms that whenever we are distilling a plant, it's with steam. Okay, it's a big pressure cooker, and the oil is coming out with steam, and then the water and the oil separate, and we take the oil out. Well, that water, instead of wasting it, is now going around and being irrigated onto the plants in the field. And so we are working on being a zero waste farm, and that's at least one of our farms. And I know that trend is going to continue to spread throughout all of our farms across the world. But then we also have sourcing. We want sourcing to be ethical. We want to make sure that it is being done properly. That we are growing these plants where they are best grown in soil that is the best for them. And then science. We are testing our oils, making sure that there is nothing in them but the oil, that they are the absolute best, have all the constituents that it needs to have, that all the constituents are at the level they need to be the most effective. And so I just find that really, really gratifying that our company takes such pride in that. The other thing is that we are not considered organic. We do have a line of products that is in our it's called our Vitality line, and it's the oils that you can take internally. But those oils do have the non-GMO Project Verified seal on them. And I will say all of our oils are the same. And we will get to that on like what that line versus the other line have like in common or any differences, that type thing. We will get into that as well. But that's all of our plants. So all of our seeds come from the plants from our farm. Again, that is part of our sustainability. The farms that we have, the soil, want to say for organic, it has to be not sprayed on for like 5 to 7 years. And we like it to be more like 50 years. We prefer virgin land. But if we can't get virgin land, then we will do at least 50 years of pesticide free. We also are making sure that the water that the plants are being watered with and the irrigation systems, the water is pure, that there's nothing in the water that's going to harm the plants, that there's no pesticide or herbicide residual in the water that we're using, all of that. The soil is very well taken care of. I know we rotate our crops to make sure we're putting nutrients back in the soil because our soils get so depleted. And so we make sure that we are planting things like alfalfa and einkorn and things like that to put those nutrients back in the soil for our plants. And then the other thing is that we are always looking to make sure that our plants are taken care of the best. I have been and I have visited the farms, and that is another thing that I love about our company is complete open door policy, complete transparency, and you can go visit our farms any day of the week. I want to say the hours are 8 to 5, maybe 8 to 6 at most of our farms, and you can tour them. You can go and talk to the farm hands. You can go tour the distilleries, and there is nothing that we are hiding. Complete open door policy for you to see that. And I know when I have talked to the farm hands, they take such care in our plants. This past summer, I was talking to one of them, and I asked her, I said, okay, do you hand weed the farms? And she said, well, we use a hoe. And I went, like a manual, like that's still manual work. And she said, yeah. And I said, so how long does it take you to do one field? And she said, well, there's 20 to 25 of us, and it takes us 2 to 3 days. And I said, okay. She said, but we use a hoe to get most of the plants, the weeds up, but we will hand pick them if they've, entangled with the plant. And I said, okay. And that's amazing to me. I mean, that is a lot of hard work to keep the plants growing well. But I will also say, because of that, because we're not spraying any herbicides or anything on our farms are not super pristine. There are rocks, there are weeds, there is grass, all of that's growing, and I think that that's okay. That's the way it needs to be. It shouldn't look pristine. If it was pristine, I would be concerned. And the fact that I can go and see that for myself, I can touch the plants, I can walk the fields, all of that just means a lot to me. I feel like it is more of a farm to oil instead of farm to food, farm to oil process. And I love that I can go and see it for myself and visit the farms and talk to the farmers and all of that. All right, so let's get into how we use essential oils. We've talked about what they are, what they can do for us, what the differences are. So how do we use them? So the first way would be with a diffuser. These are some diffusers of ours. And so the other way that you would say this is aromatically. So one of the ways you could use an essential oils is to literally just open the bottle and start taking sniffs. One of the things I love about essential oils is that you can get benefits from it without actually using any of it. That is a huge money-saving, budget-friendly tip. You can get benefits without using any of the product. I don't know anything else that you can do that with, and I love that. But that is a powerful and probably one of the most effective ways you can use essential oils is aromatically. So a diffuser simply is going to be diffusing the oil throughout the room that you put it in. Different diffusers will do different size rooms. I would say depending on the size of room would depend on how many drops you do. I would start anywhere from maybe 4 to 6, and I would go from there. You can always add more. But it's where you're putting in water, you're putting in some drops of oil, you're starting that diffuser, and then letting it run for however long you desire to let it run. I know a lot of our diffusers will run anywhere from 4 to 10 hours, depending on the setting that you put it on. So, and you can get diffusers a lot of different places. The biggest thing would be that it is a cold mist diffuser, not one that heats the oil. Because as we talked about earlier, when an oil is heated, it loses all of its benefits. It's going to smell great, but it's not going to give you any of those benefits. But a couple of reasons why this method is so effective is that, like we also said earlier, the molecules in essential oil are very, very small. And so when you smell them, they go into your nose and they go past the blood-brain barrier and can actually reach parts of your brain that really nothing else can get to. And so it's super, super powerful. It also can get into our bloodstream within seconds. Can get to our brain within pretty much immediately, and start having effects on our bodies in that way. The other thing is that the section of our brain that it can get to, that really not much else can, would be what we call the limbic system. This is a system within the brain that basically stores all of your memories, it stores all of your emotions, and it is also where kind of your fight or flight instinct is found. Now, this part of your brain, the reason aromatherapy or essential oils are so effective with it is because that system of our body has 0 ways of communication except for smell. Okay? You cannot talk to that part of your body. You cannot tell yourself, stop being upset. You cannot tell yourself, be happy, and that you actually feel it. Okay? You can tell yourself that all day long. That does not mean it's actually going to be effective. But if you smell something, it can be. Okay? If you smell something, you can immediately feel happy. Okay? Think about something that you smell and it takes you back immediately to a memory. Okay, for me, it's Wrigley's gum. As soon as I smell Wrigley's gum, I think of my papa. I can hear the coins jingling in his pocket. I can hear the wrappers of the caramels that he has in his pocket, but I can also just smell that gum. It's something he always had in his pocket. Most people have at least one thing. When they smell it, it takes you right back to a memory. And that is why essential oils can be so powerful, because we can use essential oils to work through things that we have been through that can actually what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of not promote, but enhance. That's the word I'm looking for. It can enhance experiences that we have by coupling a scent with it. So it's a very, very powerful tool for our moods and emotions, like I mentioned earlier. So essential oils are just so powerful in that way. All right, so a couple of oils that I love to use this way. One would be Raven. Raven is an oil that is a blend. So we will talk about some blends and some singles. A blend is where they've taken a couple of different oils, blended them together for a specific purpose. This one has Raven Sarah. It has lemon, wintergreen, peppermint, and eucalyptus radiata. This is a really good one if you like to breathe. Okay, a lot of people love to put this on before they exercise. It helps them just kind of open up and be able to breathe a little better. It's really good for your respiratory system. This one also is really good to put on your chest to kind of help relieve any tension or any tightness that you may be feeling in your chest or your shoulders. It's going to be really good for that. This is also a great one to just put in your diffuser. But this one is a great one for smelling because if you like to breathe, it's going to be your best friend. Lavender would be another one that is really good for aroma to put in your diffuser, smell, that type thing. Lavender is really good for rest. A lot of people know that or have heard that, but it's also really good for your hair. It's good for your skin. It's really good for eliminating odors. This actually has the nickname of the Swiss Army knife of essential oils, meaning it is so versatile. It has so many different uses. I tell most people, when in doubt, grab the lavender and then look it up, or then contact me, okay? If you have any doubts about what oil to use, just go ahead and grab your lavender, because more than likely it's gonna do something for you. It's gonna help you in that situation somehow. It's very calming, and it's very good for a lot of different things like that, but very good for the skin. So any kind of a skin issue, just really calming, really great in the diffuser, that type thing. Peace and Calming would be another one that I really love for this. It's a blend. It is one of our favorites in this house because this is a blend that helps my children to sleep. So this is a blend of tangerine, orange, ylang ylang, patchouli, and blue tansy. It just creates a really relaxing environment, really good for meditation, anything like that. This one has also been really helpful for any type of just, I would say, occasional anxiety. And what I mean by that is, my aunt had a fear of flying, and she wanted to go to Paris. And those two things don't really go together. You can't really have just kind of an anxious feeling about flying. So this wasn't something she dealt with all of the time, but this was a trip she wanted to take, and she just thought, how am I going to get over this? And so I gave her some Peace and Calming, and she was able to fly. She had a fantastic time on her trip and didn't have any issues with that. So this can be really helpful for different things like that, but it's also just super calming for any time kids are upset, or you just need some calm in your house, or to help kind of calm things for sleeping. This is both of my kids. It goes in their diffusers or on them just about every night, and it is a lifesaver in this house. All right, so another way to use an essential oil would be topically. So this would be really good to use because our skin is not a barrier, but basically just things penetrate it so much. And when you put something on your skin, it can actually be found in your bloodstream within 27 seconds. And that can be amazing, but it can also be kind of scary based on some other things that we can put on our skin topically. I have had some people question and say, I don't know that that's actually super effective. And my question back to you would be, if it wasn't effective to put something on topically, then why are there so many prescription creams and patches that are on the market? Because topical use is very, very effective, and it works really well. But with this knowledge, we need to take this beyond just essential oils or just beyond the prescription cream that our doctor gives us. We have to think about this with everything that comes in contact with our skin, knowing that anything on our skin is penetrating into our bloodstream, and that counts on the bottom of our feet. Okay, we talked earlier about the bottom of our feet being where everything is found. Well, think about what maybe you're cleaning your floors with, and then your littles are walking on that floor, and what is being absorbed into the bottom of their feet. You can think about the different shampoos and lotions and soaps and perfumes and all of those different things, even your laundry detergent, what your clothes and your sheets are washed in and being sat on your skin for hours at a time, and what's penetrating into your skin. So this is a super effective way of doing that. When applying to your body, you can just put it wherever you're needing support. Okay, so if your shoulder is hurting, put it on your shoulder. Your knee needs support, put it on your knee. But there are some times that we can't really put it on what exactly we're wanting to work on. Okay, let's say we're wanting to work with our immune system. There's really not a part of our body that is the immune system. In those cases, I would say the bottom of our feet and up and down the spine. Those are two fantastic places to be able to put essential oils that are going to get into our bodies. And both of those places are very effective when we're talking about maybe whole systems that we're wanting to help with our body, maybe the circulatory system or the immune system or cardiovascular or anything like that. We can put it on the bottom of our feet and up and down our spine for that. When we're talking about our moods and emotions, I said that that's one of the best ways, or the most often like use that I have for essential oils is for that, but you can't really put an essential oil on frustration or anger or sadness or joy or anything like that. For those, I would say pulse points, okay? So that would be over the heart, kind of on your neck where you find your pulse, or on your wrists, okay? All of those places are going to be very effective for oils when it comes to using them for moods and emotions. But I will also say to just use the oils. Your body recognizes the oils. They know what to do. It knows what to do with them. And just about all the time when you put an essential oil on, your body pretty much goes, oh, thank goodness you're here. I needed some help. And your body knows what to do with it. And that's one of the best things is just use them. Your body will do what it needs to do with that oil, okay? I will get asked sometimes, well, how effective is, or how fast will it work? I will say it works very fast, but I will also say it always works, okay? Don't question if it's working. Essential oils, pure grade, therapeutic grade essential oils always work. Are they always going to work in the way that we think they should? Maybe not. But they're always doing something. They're always working, okay? God made your body. God made these oils, and they know each other. They connect, and they get each other, okay? Your body actually metabolizes oils like any other nutrient. And so it doesn't hang on to it. There's so many things that our body comes in contact with that it just hangs on to because it's like, I don't have a clue what to do with this, okay? And that's why we have a lot of rules and things like that when it comes to other things like medication. We have, you don't want to overdose, you don't want to mix certain things together, all of that type thing. Essential oils do not do any of that, okay? Your body knows what to do with it. It processes it like any other nutrient, and it travels through your body the way it's supposed to, and then rids itself when it needs to, okay? So it's something that you can't hurt, okay? Just put some on and it's not going to hurt you. I promise. It's only going to help you. And your body is going to just know what to do with it, okay? It's not like if I don't put it in the right spot or if I don't use the exact oil I need to use, it's not going to work. That's not true. It's going to work. Just use them, okay? But these are some tips to help you. Now, when you first start putting essential oils on your skin, you need to know about carrier oils. This is what I was talking about earlier, those fatty oils. So we're talking anything like coconut, almond, jojoba, grapeseed, olive, any of those type oils. All of those are going to be considered a carrier oil. One of the biggest differences is that a carrier oil is not doesn't have a strong aroma. Okay, it's not a volatile liquid. But the other thing is that the molecules are so much larger. So an essential oil, when you put it on your skin, is going to absorb very, very quickly, and it's not going to leave your skin greasy. But I think you and I both know if I put coconut oil or olive oil on my skin, it is going to feel pretty greasy because those molecules are so big, they're going to just sit on top of the skin for a little bit. And so that is why they can be very effective for diluting essential oils. Now, it is not diluting the how effective they are. It's simply diluting at the pace at which it is absorbed into your skin, okay? So instead of those teeny tiny molecules being able to go into your skin extremely quickly, it has to bounce around those larger molecules before it can get into your skin. So it's still being just as effective. It's just slowing down that absorption a little bit so that your skin does not get irritated with it. So this is going to be the most needed when it comes to using essential oils with babies and children. Any sensitive skin, sensitive areas, when you first start putting them on until your body kind of starts getting used to them. And then also while you're using any type of a hot or spicy oil. Now, hot and spicy oils, I will say you can kind of tell when you smell them, you can tell, ooh, that one's kind of strong, or that one smells kind of spicy. I might need to dilute that one. But at the same time, it's not a hard and fast rule, because everybody's skin is different and is going to react differently. Now, when I say a skin get irritated with the oil, that would be if it gets red, if it gets itchy, anything like that. If you ever put an essential oil on and it's not diluted, you just put the essential oil on because you either need it or you're trying it out or something like that, and then you realize, oh, that was a spicy one, or ooh, that was a hot one. I probably should have diluted that one. You can go ahead and take carrier oil, put it right on top, and it's gonna dilute it right down, and it's gonna calm your skin right down, okay? So again, don't worry if you don't feel like you're gonna do it properly, okay? There's really not a right and a wrong way to do this, okay? Because if you put it on and realize, maybe I should have diluted that, then go ahead and dilute it, and it's still going to be totally fine, okay? And then now you just know for next time, I should probably dilute that one again before I put it on. So you can dilute it when it by putting it in like roller bottles. You can get those on Amazon. You can just get a roller bottle and put a couple of drops of oil in, fill it up with carrot oil, and then you've got it that way. I've had other people just mix it in like, other ways. You can also mix it with like as you do it. So for instance, I can sometimes be a little bit lazy when it comes to putting oils on my kids, and I don't always dilute all the time. But when my son was very small, I knew that his skin was so sensitive that I did need to dilute whenever I put any essential oils on, but I didn't always feel like making roller balls, or maybe I was just using an essential oil for a day or two. I wasn't going to be using it every single day or for a long extended period of time, so I didn't want to make up an entire thing of it. So I just kept a little container of coconut oil in his room. And so then every time I went to use an essential oil, I would just dip my finger in that coconut oil. I'd put it on his skin, drop the essential oil right on top of that, rub it in, and it was diluted right there on his skin. So that's another way to do it. Again, it's just by doing it, guys, you're going to just figure it out. I promise. All right, so some essential oils that I love to use in this way would be frankincense. Frankincense is really grounding. It is really good for your skin. It is also really good for your cellular health. So if you are not sure what happens when your cells become unhappy, then go ahead and Google that. And the frankincense is going to keep your cells happy, okay? And we want them to stay happy so that they can continue to make more happy cells, okay? So we love frankincense around here for that. It's also really good for, like I said, the grounding feeling. So anytime you just kind of need to take a deep breath and just calm down, but not necessarily calm down to like sleep, but just calm some emotions down, or even just maybe calm your mind. This is a really popular one for like quiet times. Or Bible study times, just times to be able to stop and just kind of meditate a little bit and just kind of calm your mind down a little bit. But then again, amazing for your skin as well. A lot of different uses for this oil. It's also pretty good for your immune system. And this is one that I will definitely use for our immune system. And again, that's kind of up and down the spine. Panaway would be another one. So Panaway is a blend. It is a blend of wintergreen, helichrysum, clove, and peppermint. It's really good for after exercising. It's really good for bruising, but it's also really good for like menstrual cramps, any kind of tension. So like if you get tense neck and shoulder, if you tend to bruise easily, or if you just any type of a cramping type, like your muscle. Anytime your muscles need some love, okay? Let's put it that way. So anytime your muscles need some loving and your just any type of soreness, then Panaway would be a go-to, okay? So this is really good for after working out in the yard, anything like that. This is a great one to use. I will also use this one for growing pains for my kids. When their legs are just kind of restless and stretchy and achy and stuff like that. And it's just a growing pain. It's a normal thing that all kids go through. But sometimes if they're going through it very quickly, like if they're growing very quickly, it's not always super comfortable. And so this is a great one for that. So Valor is another one. Y'all, this is what I would say a unicorn oil. It is a company favorite. It is a beloved oil in our company. It is a blend of black spruce, camphor, blue tansy, frankincense, and geranium. This is one that a lot of men love to wear as a cologne. It's really good for keeping positive attitudes. This is probably my go-to emotional oil, okay? If you need any kind of emotion or mood support, I would grab for the Valor. It's going to be really good for courage. It's going to be uplifting, but also relaxing. It's just I think it smells like blueberries. Personally, I think it smells like blueberries, and I have quite a few people that say they agree with me. It does kind of have a blue tint because the blue tansy oil comes out blue, and so it does kind of have a blue purpley tint, and it smells so good. So this is one that I will use on both of my boys if they have any kind of a hard fall or anything like that. It will also, I think that this is probably such a beloved oil for me, especially because one of my children is very timid. He is very timid in doing anything new, anything he's not sure of, anything that he doesn't know exactly what's about to happen. You would think I am torturing the child when I take him swimming for the first time in the summer, but by the end of the summer, he loves it, begs to go, and can't wait to go back. But then we get back to the beginning of summer again, and he's like, not so sure about it. And so to get him over any of those hurdles, Valor has been a go-to, and he even knows it. He will ask for the Valor sometimes if he knows he's having a hard time. So it's just something that it really helps him give courage. I know I, though, have used it when I've had to have a conversation I didn't want to have, right? When you maybe have to talk to the boss and you don't want to talk to the boss. Or if you know it's kind of just an uncomfortable situation and you just need to have some courage. I know a lot of people put this on before they get on stage to sing or to speak or anything like that. It's just a really good oil for any kind of situation like that. But like I said, for any mood or feeling, this would be my go-to oil for sure. Stress Away. Oh my goodness. It's such a favorite. I don't know how any moms without Stress Away. It is such an amazing oil, and the name says it all, right? I mean, who does not have stress in their life that just needs to go away? So this is a blend of copaiba, lime, cedarwood, vanilla, ocotea, and lavender. Y'all, think about it. Lime, cedarwood, vanilla. Ocotea is in the cinnamon family, so it's kind of got that cinnamony, spicy smell to it. But it's also got the lime and the vanilla, and it's just, it takes me to a beach every time I smell it. But this is an oil that is really good for any kind of frustration, any kind of car trip, if that is with kids, if that is with husbands, if that is through rush hour, if that is through anything. I have one team member that she tells me Stress Away is what saves her marriage when she goes to Atlanta. Without it, they probably would not still be together on this side of Atlanta. And so I love Stress Away, though. This is one that when I want to change my name from Mom, because I have heard it more than 5,000 times that day, it gets me through until my husband gets home. And so it just is so relaxing. It's so comforting. It's just, it kind of is restful. But this is something that is amazing to, so I put it on. I put it on like the back of my neck. I put it on my pulse points, all of that. But it is also one I will just grab the bottle and start sniffing. It is one I will put in the diffuser, because a lot of times when the kids are just bouncing off the walls and going crazy, sometimes it's because they're stressed and they don't know how to handle it and they don't know how to communicate that with us. But then, like I said, car trips. So a quick tip for you. For in the car, you can always put it on if you have a old like wooden clothespin. Drop a drop of it on that wood. It's going to absorb into the wood. Stick it to your air vent, and you've got yourself a car diffuser. But I have also known some very ingenious but resourceful and scrappy mamas that have had screaming kids in the back. They're sitting in car line, nothing you can do about it, but baby brothers and sisters are not so happy about it. She didn't have a car diffuser. She's sitting in the car, so she's not like she can go get a, clothespin. And so she grabbed a napkin, stuck some on a napkin, shoved that in the air vent, and it became peaceful. So it really is an amazing oil. And like I said, there is not a wrong way to use these oils. All right, so the last way to use essential oils would be internally. So this is a way that if you are comfortable using it this way, absolutely, it is a great way to use them. However, if you are not comfortable with this, then I say that's okay. There are two other ways to use it, okay? To use essential oils. I have a line that is called the Vitality line of essential oils. And all of those oils are gonna have a white label on them, okay? So you can see like a full color label versus kind of a white with a little bit of color. And so any of the white labels are Vitality, so they're gonna be labeled for internal use. Now, the reason that we have these, and like I said, these are non-GMO project verified, but the reason we have these essential oils labeled this way is because, like I told you earlier, the FDA does not have a category for essential oils. So they had to stick us in categories they already had. When it came to being able to put it on topically, they called it a cosmetic. Well, if you put it internally, you can't call that a cosmetic. You have to call that a supplement. And they said you cannot put both instructions or talk about them even, that you can use them both ways if because you can only talk about it or even put on the label one way to use it. Well, like both of us know, coconut oil is a great thing to use for your skin. However, if you look on your label, it's going to say nothing about skin. It's going to say nothing about putting it on topically, but that's not meaning that you can't, right? It's only going to talk about internal use because that is how it is labeled, okay? Same thing with essential oils. We had to label it differently for that reason. However, I will say that we have lemon essential oil, I think just about all of our essential oils in the Vitality line. We also have in the topical and aromatic line as well. They are the exact same essential oil, okay? The exact same. We just have the different labels to appease the FDA so that we can talk about it and we can let you guys know that you can use these oils different ways, okay? So is there a difference in the oil? Absolutely not. Okay, so if you have a lemon that is like this label, not a Vitality, it's the same oil, okay? It's just the different labels to appease the FDA. Now, I will say I only recommend taking Young Living essential oils internally simply because I know there's nothing in here except the essential oil. I cannot say that about anyone else, okay? So we talked a little bit about what you can put on the label with the FDA, but a few of the things that I did not tell you guys was that when it comes to saying pure, when a company says that something is pure and puts that on a label, that does not necessarily mean that there is nothing in that bottle but that, okay? The FDA simply says that they can put pure on it if it is pure in smell, okay? So if it says pure lavender oil, it might not just be lavender oil. There might be other oils in it, but it's pure lavender scent, so they can put that it's a pure lavender oil, okay? There are other oils, kind of like I told you, Ocotea is in the cinnamon family. There's a lot of different plants that are kind of cousins to each other. They all smell the same, but they all are their own plant. They all have different constituents and different uses. And so we can't always say, well, it's lavender. Well, it might not be 100% lavender, okay? So in that way, I cannot promote or tell you guys to take anything internally unless it's Young Living, because Young Living is the only one that I trust for me and my family. All right, so when it comes to taking them internally, you can do that in your drink, okay? If you are doing that, I would say glass or stainless steel only, okay? Essential oils do not like plastic. They don't like styrofoam. They don't like anything like that, because essential oils are very detoxifying. They like to eat through toxins. They like to basically get rid of anything that is not natural and not toxic, or that is toxic. And so if you put that in like plastic or styrofoam, it's going to eat away at that, and then you're going to be ingesting that, and we definitely don't want to do that. So glass or stainless steel only. And in that, some people say, well, if I put that on if I put a drop of that lemon oil on a styrofoam and it eats a hole through it, and it will pretty quickly, I don't know that I want that in my system. And to that, I will say, you're not made of styrofoam. You're not made of plastic. You are not made of anything inorganic, okay? You are an organic being that God created, and it knows what to do with the oils, okay? The oils do not hurt your body, and that it's one of those, it's a great way to use them. So for instance, the lemon essential oil comes from the rind of the plant. So if you ever zested a lemon and used that in your cooking, then you have used lemon essential oil, okay? So, because that's exactly where it comes from. They just press that down. Same thing with herbs. So we have a lot of herbs in our Vitality line. If you have eaten herbs, like when you've handled them and your hand starts smelling like it, you're smelling the essential oil that's on your hand, okay? So there are a lot of essential oils that you ingest all the time without knowing it. So I will say that's a great way to do it. But the other thing is that if it is going to eat through toxic things or inorganic things, I'm okay with that being put in my body because I don't think I want that in my body. So if it's going to eat away at anything that's in me that is toxic, to get rid of it, I'm okay with that. And so definitely drinking, flavoring your water. Lime is one of my favorites. Tangerine is another one that I love to put in my water. Lime water is my 1-year-old's absolute favorite. If he sees me put lime in my water, he is begging for my water bottle and typically doesn't give it back until it's empty. And so he loves it. I will say start with 1 drop. You can always add more, but 1 drop is usually strong enough, okay? The other way that you can use it internally is to put it in an empty capsule. You can get empty capsules just about anywhere, like empty vegetable capsules. And if you don't like the taste of an oil, or if you have to if you're wanting to take a lot of it for a specific purpose, then that is one way that you can do that, is putting it in a capsule so you can just swallow it down and not have to taste it. The last way I would say internal would be cooking. So you can cook with essential oils. I make salad dressings with essential oils. Another thing, like for instance with peppermint, I love peppermint brownies. Okay, so I can put a couple drops of peppermint in my brownies, and I'll have peppermint brownies. Now, as I will mention in a little bit, peppermint is really good for digestive. However, peppermint brownies are not going to help my digestion. Why would that be? Because I'm heating that essential oil, it's killing those constituents. It's not going to give me those benefits. That is why when we cook with it, it's going to go down into just a pure oil, right? It's not going to have any of those constituents, but it's still going to be an oil that is 100% pure. It's going to smell great. It's going to taste great, but it's not going to actually give me any of those benefits because we've cooked it, we've heated it, so we've killed that part of it, okay? So just keep that in mind when you are cooking with oils. All right, so one that I like to use internally would be Thieves. Thieves is a blend. It's one of our probably most popular blends of clove, lemon, cinnamon bark, eucalyptus radiata, and rosemary. It is amazing for your immune system. You can put this in like warm water and kind of make a tea with it. It's kind of a spicy flavor. This is really good for your oral health. If you look back through history, clove has always been used for oral care and in dental procedures and things like that. Before we got Novocaine, clove is what was used, clove essential oil, because clove can be very numbing. And so clove being in here is really good for your oral health. We actually have an entire line of Thieves products. We have cleaners and hand sanitizer and toothpastes and dish soaps and hand soaps and laundry soap and all of that in the Thieves line that has this like spicy, almost kind of a Christmassy smell. And it smells really, really amazing for that. But I also love that all of those products then containing Thieves essential oil. Thieves essential oil is known to be really amazing for my immune system. And we've talked about anything touching your skin is going to get absorbed into that bloodstream. And I love that anything that I'm using with that, with Thieves, is going to be boosting my body and boosting my family's body. And I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with mopping my floors with Thieves cleaner and that getting absorbed into my kids' feet. So really quick, why is it named Thieves? It's actually after the 15th century. There was the bubonic plague that was going around, and there were these thieves that would steal off of the dead bodies. And when they were caught, they said, we'll give you a lighter sentence if you tell us how you're not catching the plague. And they were dousing themselves with different herbs and oils and stuff like that. And that's kind of where we got the basis of our blend. And so just a really quick story and kind of to give you a hint of how powerful that essential oil really is. So it is a favorite. I actually also like to take this in a spoonful of honey, and it's really soothing to a throat. So that's a great one. Citrus Fresh is another one. I love this one in my water as well. So it's a blend basically of just about all of our citrus oils with a little bit of spearmint thrown in there. So it's orange, tangerine, grapefruit, lemon, mandarin orange, and spearmint. Like I said, really, really good in your water. I tend to drink so much more water when I have oils in it. But it's also going to help boost my antioxidants. It's really good cleaning. This isn't one that we have in our regular line as well, and it is really good to diffuse for any kind of odors. I like this one for my dryer balls in my dryer, my wool dryer balls. I like this one for just anytime I want my house to just smell fresh and clean and all of that. This would also be one that I let's see here. I diffuse it. Oh, I put this on like cotton balls and put it around the house, like in stinky shoes or things like that. And it's gonna just make everything smell fresh and clean and amazing. All right, so peppermint. As I mentioned earlier, I love peppermint in my brownies, right? But it's also really amazing for your digestion, really good for your gut health, gastrointestinal, all of that. It's also going to be really good to help support your performance during exercise. Peppermint is known to kind of open everything up, right? Open airways up. And so this one's really good for anything like that. It's also pretty stimulating. And so this one is a really good one for like focus. It's really good to kind of help snap you awake, snap you alert. This is one my husband uses when we're on long drives through the night. And so he will use peppermint to kind of wake him up, get him alert, all of that. This is also one of his favorites for after he's been in meetings for hours on end and he's got to get something done that day. Peppermint's what he grabs to kind of wake himself up. But it's also really good for your tummy. Really good for any time. We all kind of know that peppermint's really good for if you ever start feeling a little nauseous, things like that. Just kind of sniff it, put it on, things like that. But like I said, I love cooking with it. But if you heat it, it's going to lose those constituents. So while I love peppermint brownies, it doesn't really help my gut. But it really is good for that. It's also going to kind of help. It helps with circulation as well, because like I said, it's very stimulating. And so it's one that a lot of people love to kind of put on their neck or on their forehead when they just kind of need that freshening, stimulating, relax any kind of tension, that type of thing. All right, so lemon. Lemon is another one that I love. This one is really good for after big meals. To drink in some water. If you kind of feel that meal a little bit in your chest, or if you kind of feel it kind of coming up, or it's kind of burning a little bit because it was kind of a spicy meal or a really big meal that you don't typically eat a whole lot of, but every once in a while it's like, whoo, I ate a really big meal and now I'm kind of starting to feel it. Drink some of this in your water and it'll kind of help calm things down. But this is also one that I love to flavor things with. Lemon essential oil is also in our regular line, and that is a fantastic one for cleaning. Y'all, I think I have a lemon addiction. My husband definitely thinks I do because I think I order it very, very, very frequently. And when you look at where we keep all of our empty essential oil bottles, there's a whole lot of lemon in it. So I love this one for cleaning. I clean my stainless steel sink with it and it just brings it back to shine. It looks amazing. It gets the fingerprints off of my dishwasher and my refrigerators and things like that. It just gets all those little fingerprints off. It is also kind of like a natural Goo Gone. Like it kind of gets any kind of a crayon or a goo or like sticker residue or anything like that off. It gets gum out of hair, anything like that. Now, we'll say, again, oils and plastic don't like each other. So if you have a sticker residue that is on something that is plastic, be careful. My son's bike helmet has a very dull spot where I tried to get sticker residue off and I wasn't thinking, and the rest of his helmet is nice and shiny, except the spot I put lemon oil, and it's got a little dull spot. But any kind of a sticker residue on hardwood flooring, on windows or picture frames or anything like that, definitely is definitely a go-to. Any stubborn stains on the stove, I put a drop of lemon on it, I give it a minute, and then I spray my thieves cleaner on it and it just wipes right up. It's amazing. I love lemon oil. Digize. Digize is one that does not smell fantastic. It is not one of my favorites, but it works so well. Just because we don't like the smell of it doesn't mean it doesn't work. Also, if you can't smell it, so some people ask me, does it work if I can't smell it? Like if my nose is so clogged up, I cannot smell a thing. Yes, it still works. Your body still knows what to do with it. So definitely continue to use it at that time. But even if we don't like the smell of it, I don't love the smell of every single flower on the place on the face of the earth. That does not mean it is not there for a reason or have a use, okay? So just because I don't like the smell of it doesn't mean it does not work, because it does. So it's a blend of tarragon, ginger, peppermint, juniper, fennel, lemongrass, anise, and patchouli. This one is amazing for your digestion. Digestion, okay? It's also really good for your pets and your kids. This is one that I will drop a drop of it on our dog's food because he has kind of a sensitive stomach, and it definitely helps. Great for traveling. I don't know about you guys, but my gut likes home. My gut knows where home is, and if I am not home, my gut decides to just stop working. And that's not always comfortable when you're gone for a week. So Digest has been my friend when I go anywhere. It keeps my body functioning, it keeps everything moving, and it keeps everything happy, okay? And I am no longer susceptible to, oh my goodness, we are an hour from home and my gut knows we're getting close. So yes, I love Digest. It is definitely something that is needed. And if it is maybe you're not feeling good and your digestion is kind of wacky and you are like, ugh, that is the last thing I want to smell right now, I will either put it on my stomach, my abdomen, and then put a blanket right over it, or I'll put it on the bottom of my feet. Or this is one that if you want to take it internally, I don't like the taste of it. Some people love it. They will put it in their water and they love it. For me, it's got to go in a capsule. So this is one of those that I would say is for that reason. All right, so we've talked about how to use them, and we have talked about some basic oils. But I want to stop real quick and just tell you guys, I get so many people that misunderstand that just because I love essential oils and I believe that they work, it does not mean I am against modern medicine, okay? If it was not for modern medicine, this little fella right here is my son, and me and him, neither one would be here without modern medicine. And so I put this in because I want people to understand I am 100% for modern medicine. I think that there is a need for it. I think that there is use for it. And I love that it is there for when we need it. However, I feel like we have come to depend on it way more than we need to. Just because we aren't being able to breathe very well right now, or because our stomach is a little upset, or because we're feeling, our feelings are a little off, or, something like that, does not mean that we immediately need to go and seek modern medicine help, because God gave us so many uses, and He gave us those provisions for us to use. And so while I definitely appreciate modern medicine, and I think it is definitely needed. When it is needed, I think that sometimes it is overused. And so I feel like there has to be a balance there, and we kind of have to bring that pendulum back a little bit, and just maybe not depend on modern medicine nearly as much as we've come to. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying that we shouldn't. I'm just saying maybe let's kind of level that out a little bit more, and let's kind of think through, is this something that I am really I need to get to that level, or is this something that maybe we could find other ways to go through and support ourselves and still get results and still support our bodies and still give our bodies what they need. But like I said, they're just maybe trying to find that balance. So I am not against modern medicine. I think it really is amazing. But I feel like there also is that balance. So we've talked about some oils, and I get so many people that ask me, where do I start? I don't even, there are so many. Y'all, when it comes to Young Living, we have almost 300 oils. Oh my goodness, right? That is so overwhelming. And when you first start in on any kind of a journey like this, it is, it can be super overwhelming. And I completely understand. When I first started essential oils, all I knew was tea tree was good for cleaning and lavender was good for sleep. That was it. I knew nothing else. It's all come from just doing it and learning as I went and taking baby steps. Y'all, it is all about the baby steps. And so I love that Young Living has put together a box. It's kind of a starter box for you. And it's got 12 oils in it. It comes with a diffuser so you can use it in that way. And it's just a place to start. And as we've talked about all the oils that come in that starter box. And if you think back, we've talked about just about every system of your body, right? It's going to hit just about everything. It's going to hit your immune, your respiratory, your digestion, your oral, your circulatory, your moods, your emotions, your sleeping, your stress, your all of it. It's going to work with all of it. And so I love that about this starter box, is that it's going to hit just about everything that we need it to hit. But it's a small place to start. It's a baby step. And even within this, I would say just start with one oil. Just pull one oil out of the box, start with that for a while, and then once you kind of get that one under your belt, start with another one. And you've only got a pile of 12 of them to reach from instead of the 300 that we have available, okay? The oils all are completely amazing. I have so many of them, but I will say just about 20 or so is all that's truly needed for us. And this is over half of that. And what I love as a mama is that it is so budget friendly. And so it comes with the 12 oils and a diffuser. It also comes with a hand sanitizer. It comes with a small hand sanitizer. It comes with a thief spray. I love this for spraying down shopping carts, remote controls, light switches, toys, restaurant tables, all the things. Okay, I love this stuff. It also comes with some Ningxia Red. So this is a juice. It's an antioxidant juice that's really good for whole body support. You name it, it's going to support it. Your circulatory, your eye health, your cellular health, your energy, your all of it. Okay, it's going to help it. Best cold, so throw these in the fridge, okay? And they're really, really delicious. But it's going to come with all of that for only $165. Y'all, this is valued at over $400. And so it's such an amazing value. I think it breaks down to maybe, I think it was like $9 a product. Y'all, $9 for each oil and a diffuser? Are you kidding me right now? Plus all of these samples that you get to try different things. I absolutely love it. So typically it will come also if you use my sponsor number and my enroller number. I will also send you a sample of the Thieves Cleaner because that is something that is going to be in the kits that will be being put back into the kits. But at this point, it is taken out of the kits because they've been leaking. And so they've given us the Thieves Spray for now, but the Thieves Cleaner will be coming back in it. And so for now, whenever you use my number, I will gift that to you because I want you to experience how amazing that cleaner is. And so anyways, so you actually get more than what's just in this kit because I give that to you and I give you so many resources, more classes, more education. I walk alongside you because I want you to be successful with this and I want you to understand how amazing these are because I truly believe that they are provisions for us and they are gifts for us. And so it's so budget friendly, right? So budget friendly and super, super helpful. And so thank you guys so much for joining me and just learning a little bit about essential oils, how you can sort of support your body naturally, some different things that you can use them for. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I would love to help you answer questions. That is one of my favorite things to do. And so thank you guys again so much for joining me. And I really hope that you get started on this amazing health journey and that I am able to help you with that. I hope that you guys have a fantastic day and I can't wait to talk to you and help you with this.